Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. Impact Talk for Impact fans right here. Your post Slammiversary review. Myself, Jabransky Hepfarino, old J-Bone, with Mr. Front Row Bill. He had to like crawl and weave his way and stomp over over 1,000 people in that place. Bill, how you doing?
Doing good, J-Bo. Doing pretty good. Just actually say goodbye to a lot of the crew that's in the Discord. That had a lot of the super fans that made their way out. They're staying actually right down the street from me at the hotel I'm at. This is kind of like right over the bridge here, the Ambassador Bridge from Detroit to Windsor. There's a whole line of hotels from like your good hotels to your adequate hotels to where Bill stays. Called the cheapest hotel option. So, but hey, the Wi-Fi is working, the room's clean. That's all I need, J-Bone. You know that.
And now, what about that little thing that you put the quarters in? Is that still working, or?
We'll see.
Okay.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. It's a slamming weekend. All right. We got a few new faces in the chat tonight. Welcome, old faces and new. Some people from the Twitch and the YouTube holding it down. Oh boy, are they happy to see you. Yeah, representing with the Canadian flag, and it was even used. Well, we'll get to that in post match. It looked like, was that your flag?
My flag was used post match. Yes,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Overall, how now that crowd looks like it is absolutely the biggest crowd they've had pre-pandemic. For a long time.
Yeah, I know we were talking right before we went live here. Me and Billy from the Discord did a rough estimate on seating, and because there was, when we were counting, not all the seats were full at this point, and not all the areas were open, but we did see they opened up all those areas we were looking at, and most of those seats were full. I didn't really see a seat without a person in it. So that would put it upwards of near 1,600 people.
And that's amazing.
Which obviously is a very good crowd. I would say the old gym as opposed to the Sportsplex was maybe about 1,000, like top out, like that 900,000 range. So this is pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, that just the way it looked and the lighting that they did, it just, man, it felt like a small arena, and it warmed my heart to see that many people at an event. I was like, man, it's about damn time, you know?
Well, it's funny, J-Bone. We get over there. I'm hanging out with that kind of same crew that we all know each other, obviously, from going to the shows.
Brandon,
but also obviously met up with, obviously also know a bunch of people from up here in Windsor, because I was going pre-pandemic when they started playing St. Clair. I was attending these shows. So cool. I met a lot of the locals here too, which is great.
Nice.
But it's funny, we get up there and a reporter from CTV, which is kind of like, in my mind, like comparable to like your local ABC, NBC, CBS affiliate for like your local news type thing, was there to cover it, because this was actually the first live pay-per-view in Windsor. So this was wrestling history in Windsor, Ontario.
Oh, wow.
So actually myself and Tim, franchise, NYC franchise, we got interviewed. So you might see us somewhere on Canadian television.
Oh, nice. CTV. Look at that. Bill's worldwide, baby. That's amazing.
But just to show like how much talking about like that crowd, like obviously every time they've been in Windsor, I think a lot of people in the chat, those have all been very electric, into it shows. The people have, like, they determined why they came back for this show. Them supporting all those shows they've done at St. Clair before and after the pandemic is why they were able to come back here with the. It's up for debate between always Slammiversary and Bound for Glory. What's the biggest show of the year? But this definitely well earned by the fans. And I'll tell you, Atlanta, Windsor, obviously Chicago coming up. We've seen in the past. A lot of good towns in the rotation right now for Impact. They're not killing the markets. Like Chicago's going to be 3 by Bound for Glory, which that's getting close to maybe. All right, pump the brakes a little after that. Don't ever want to burn out any market, but so far so good. The crowds, like I heard nothing but positive things. And let us know in the chat. Like obviously I'm watching the show. I try not to get too much into anything else going on other than talking to people around me. But the people love the show. I'm hearing a little bit about some stuff on the main event. Obviously, a lot of title changes, so there's going to be opinions based on stuff like that. But let us know what you thought. Like overall, I thought it was an excellent show. I always, and anyone that's watched this before, I always put the standard bearer under this regime as Slammiversary 2018 as like the best show overall. This one, like last year, was very good. Like last year's Slammiversary was just top to bottom an excellent pay-per-view.
Oh, sure.
Almost all of them are lately. And this one is right there. Like this is an overall excellent pay-per-view. It depends on what you want to focus on. Depending if you had more maybe vested interest in certain matches, this could be the best show for you. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but we'll go over it as we review the show.
Yeah, let's do that. But first, we're going to say thank you to Ronan Blue for the super chat. Says, Bill, what match had the most engaged and what match had the less engaged, and was Sabin hurt? Well, first let's cover the first bunch first, and we'll get to Sabin.
Okay, so if you want to go with the most engaged, I think we're engaged most of the night. I'm not going to say there was really any matches taken off, but it's tough to not say the Team Canada match as a very engaged match overall.
Yeah.
Like it, I may be a little biased based on what was going on during that match, but that was, I would say, but it was close. Like the knockouts title match, the world title, that had a lot of engagement. A lot of the Ultimate X was excellent. There was even the tag match had the fans were going nuts for the tag title match. Like that. That was
so much fun.
That was a great match. So like there really wasn't a huge down. Like obviously because and we can lead into the Sabin thing. Because of how that played out, they couldn't get invested in it because of the Lio Rush attack before the match. Yeah. So there was really no, like, if you want to say less engagement, I guess I'll go with that one because of just how it unfolded. And I know we always, how we want to approach these type of things, was Sabin hurt? I'll tell you what. It was very convincing. I'll leave it at that.
Well, the medical guy was down there, but the fact that he shoved the medical guy was like...
Yeah, like, I'll give a nice wink and a nod, but take that for what you will. But I thought it was played out very well, because I will say this. The one thing I got, like, people messaging me during the show was about the Sabin thing. Is he hurt?
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent if anyone watched when Macklin and PCO had that match and everybody was talking about the hard way with Macklin. And I said, guys, let's settle down. Because the dirt sheets were running with that. But hey, if the dirt sheets run with all power, man, all power, that's why hail Sabin. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely one of the shockers of the night, and not the fact that Leo won, it's how he won.
Yes,
Well,
yeah, like going after him beforehand, him agreeing that with Frank, referee Frank, that
Yeah.
he could go. And I know I said it on the review the other night. I thought if Sabin lost, which I thought was a real possibility, I'm not shocked by this result. How it happened, I am.
Right.
But I thought if he lost, I thought there was a very good chance that Shelley was also going to lose.
Yeah.
But obviously everything else changed. But Shelley did not, which is good. And I always like that because even when I think watching Impact all the time here and seeing it over all these years, just when you think you might be like, I think they're going to go in a direction, they'll swerve you because, as we talked about the other night, that the whole Nick Aldis winning, that like most people would tell you he may have been the favorite. Like if you were looking at Vegas odds, Nick Aldis may have been the favorite as the challenger in this match.
Oh, right. Yeah, like a lot of people
Shelley
saying
was
that
pretty much the underdog.
Yeah.
But Detroit guy across the river, like he's practically like it's almost a hometown match, even though it's in another country.
Yeah, he got a pretty big response from the crowd, so it did feel it as close to a hometown crowd as you're gonna feel. Yeah, that's what it felt like, anyways.
But no, I'm glad with how it turned out. But no, but thank you for the super sticker, and we'll get more and more into it. But we got to give that the one and only a show stealer tonight.
Impact Wrestling.
Yes, thank you, Coach. What a match with the Coach. We'll get to that. Slammiversary is in the books, 2023. Let's start out with the pre-show here. Jody Threat.
Good pre-show.
Yeah, it was fun. The first match was short but sweet. Jody Threat with the Death Dolls versus Gisele, Shaw, and her crew, Savannah Evans and Jay Vidal.
New entrance. New music for the Shaw Taraj.
The Shaw Taraj. That is one that still just does not roll off the tongue for me. Maybe if I see it in print, I don't know. I don't even know how the hell you spell that.
Which one's Jay?
Exactly. My phonics was never that great. So
wait. All right, go ahead. No, this is after the pre-show matches, but there's something I definitely want to focus on before the main show after the two matches.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, what'd you think of the combo of Jody Threat and the Death Dolls?
They had kind of that natural fit, like that rocker type punk gimmick. So at first when they were kind of assembled, I'm like, does that make sense? But seeing them together, she kind of came out as like the third Death Doll. So I thought it worked for this. I don't know if we're going to see a lot beyond it. Because obviously we know Gisele has been kind of up there near the top of the Knockouts division. So I don't know if they're going to keep the Shoulder Raj as a thing with them going forward, or if this is almost just like a one-off and then they'll kind of go in other directions. But no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, bonus boy here. Just when you think you have all the answers, Impact changes all the questions.
That's right.
Yeah, seriously. So
and true, it was the Shoulder Raj had the it was mainly Gisele, but like it was a different Tron instead of just like quintessential diva and like the lights flashing. It was more like it was still using quintessential diva, but it was like a mix of like rap.
Huh.
So I don't know if anyone else heard that. I don't know if I'm not sure if that was just live crowd or not.
I wasn't paying attention. In fact, I think when I clicked over from what I was doing and went live, I missed their entrance. So I didn't catch that. If I replay
once again, when you're on a pre-show like that, I don't know what's airing or what's not airing, so it might not even
Yeah.
be aired. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they played it. I just came in at the other one, and I didn't realize Gisele was already in the ring until I saw them there. It was like, oh, I missed their entrance. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and just everyone knows I don't give spoilers, but Mayor's asking about what happened before. The normal thing that happens at these Impact pay-per-views is they normally tape a digital. They'll call it a bonus match, but it winds up being a digital match. So there was a digital match taped that will air at some point.
Okay. Well, they got a hell of an audience to.
Yeah, that's a great time to do it before a big pay-per-view. And then you got something in the can in case, like tomorrow, if for some reason something doesn't work out, you have another match in the can in case you need it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But yeah, so Jody threatened the Death Dolls get the win here. Short but sweet match. I think it felt like it was 5 minutes, maybe a little more.
Yeah, you can't get when you do 2 matches in a 30-minute show, where you're also showing all those video packages to promote the Slammiversary.
Right.
It's tough to give the matches a ton of time, and obviously the following match, the title match, got more time. So
yeah.
So it makes sense. But I enjoyed it. A good thing to get the crowd going. Fun little start.
If anyone's going to get that crowd going, the Death Dolls are definitely going to do it.
A lot of energy.
Yeah. All right, next we got the Digital Media Championship, the DMC, as Sheldon Jeans likes to say. Joe Hendry defending against.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
But maybe we won't be clapping much longer, J-Bo.
Oh, boy.
Although, before we get into it, J-Bo, did Santino reverse his decision backstage while, like every other time this happens?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
It stood?
No.
It stood?
No, and Kenny King even got an interview with Gia Miller afterwards.
Yes, and well, we couldn't see it. We just heard the audio live.
Okay.
They weren't, for some reason, the picture wasn't coming up in the arena.
Okay.
But we did hear that. So that was good news. Good news.
Okay. But yeah, no, as far as I could tell, that was definitely staying. So that was good. I was ready for a new champ.
We talked about it. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I was ready for it. And I think everybody knows during his early TNA run, when he was 2-time exhibition champion, I've always been a Kenny King fan. So seeing Kenny King get more of this, get a title, because I was hoping he would get the exhibition title again, become a 3-time champ. But since that didn't pan out, the DMC title, I think he can have some fun with it. It'll be interesting to see where Joe goes from here. Because I could see him actually getting pushed probably more to the main event, probably.
Could be. Especially if they start leaning internationally, heading to, if they start, they got all the stuff for the rest of the year pretty much managed, it feels like. But, hopefully something with the UK is in the works, and then they get some more international people under their wings, like we saw.
And I think that's the thing where we thought maybe Nick Aldis, we'll get into later. That's maybe would mean something regarding that. But and I see people referencing Stripper Kenny, which we support Stripper Kenny here. But I do want to put over another one of our friends here, Eddie, who actually made a prop you may have seen on TV. But I have one. He did the Joe Hendry money with Stripper Kenny.
Oh, he made that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, just a little shout out to Eddie.
Nice. Yeah, he was dead center, whole show. He had some, there was a once or twice where, they almost landed right in his lap. I think there was the Kaz and Edwards match. Yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a few times where there were some people getting pretty close. I think one time when we'll get to the Ultimate X, but I for a second I thought Mike Bailey might land on me, J-Bo. I was about to go, I got you, Mike.
Yeah. But this was a numbers game, and Sheldon Jean absolutely paying dividends at the end of this one, helping his mentor, if you want to say it, Kenny King, get the win.
That was key. That was a key. Hey, we got a lot of acts like this in Impact. Like if you and you know me, I'm a big believer in a manager / valet. If they can turn the tables, that's wrestling, man. That's wrestling 101.
Yeah.
Heel, tweener. If you can get an edge, you get it. That's why I was having a little bit of a beef with all these backstage, all of a sudden overturning a lot of things. I'm not a huge fan of that. And that's like Moose lost the DMC title because of there was cheating. Like Santino. That's why I'm like, it's going to get reversed. I couldn't even enjoy the title because I thought it was going to get reversed.
You're right.
But at least this one stood because Kenny definitely deserves it. So kudos to the
king. This felt really big. I mean, and the crowd was definitely behind Joe.
Oh yeah. He is over. There are definitely some King fans.
Sure.
I'm one of them, but it's still tough not to in the moment root for Joe Hendry. Like he did the theme song, like even during the match, he like gets his theme song into his move set. So it's tough not to, and then he'll do those powerhouse moves, which tend to make you cheer for him.
Yeah. So we have a new digital media champion, Kenny King. So
congrats to the king of the night.
Yeah. And this is just the start of the company getting flipped on its head. Yes, Oreo.
Oreo agrees.
Oh, she is just beside herself. She just can't believe it. She's like, what? She's like, what happened? And that's the end of the pre-show. Now opening up the main card here.
Before the actual matches, J-Bone, I want to go over the video that introduced like the whole introduction to Slammiversary, the Scott Steiner math promo.
Oh yeah. The cold open,
the cold open with Scott Steiner, and I want to know what everyone thought about that. And I'm like, I like it, but like obviously, I knew they would have to edit out. I'm like, he ain't gonna say sacrifice at the end because it's Slammiversary. So they did cut that out. But obviously, still the references, obviously, to Joe and everything. So, but it's still the most infamous promo in the company's history. So I appreciate that they kept it in.
He's fat!
Good old
It surprised me. I think it even surprised the people that were working for Impact. Because I was almost looking around at faces as that cold open was playing on the screen.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them didn't even know that was going to be on there.
Yeah.
It's like, we got Scott Steiner, but it's Slammiversary. We got to honor our history, J-Bo.
Oh, yeah. If you're goofy.
For a second, I'm like,
whatever.
Will Scott Steiner be the mystery partner?
Yeah. And look who it is. Speak of the devil. We just mentioned you a little bit ago. Quick pop in says, Eddie, the show ruled. Yes, we saw you live tonight. Yes, absolutely. And there is one of the Eddie dollar bills with the big smile from Kenny.
And he's like, look, I'm the DMC champ.
Yeah. Look who's smiling now. So, great to see you, Eddie. Looked like you were definitely having fun tonight. But yeah, main show.
Now, J-Bone, you want me to give you some behind the scenes details?
Ooh, a little. Well,
this is more me. This is more Bill behind the scenes details.
Oh, okay.
This is Bill being a goof. So,
okay.
Before the show, I see our good friend, Mr. Ed Nordholm, walking over. Notice him from across the way, and then he's looking over at me. I look over at him, so I'm like, it's Mr. Ed Nordholm. I'm like, I got to go shake the man's hand. That's what I do with these things.
Yeah.
So I get over from my shoe. I'm up from my, well, this is where I'm getting to. I'm in the corner. I start making my way over to go see Ed. I get about 3 seats down. Bill starts going down. Tumble. I start tumbling over. Tumbling over. But I braced myself. I could take a bump, J-Bo. I braced myself. But what I found out is my bag, my impact bag with my gimmicks, the string, because it's a drawstring bag.
Yeah.
Here is said perpetrator.
Oh, yeah.
The one strap was around the chair bottom, and the other one had wrapped around my foot as I got up to see Mr. Nordholm. So it took me about 3 seats till I stretched it out because it never left the seat. And then it was just like my momentum just stopped. So I'm just like, but I brace myself. I have an experience almost falling. So no, luckily all was okay.
Oh, that's good.
Other than our another good friend, Missy she was, I think she thought I was going to fall forward, but actually because of that, I just stopped in mid motion. Yeah. So she was about to like make sure I didn't fall. Yeah. And she sadly spilled her drink. So I'm sorry about that. Oh, jeez. I think she got another one.
Oh, Bill.
But there's just a little Bill FYI.
Little chuckle.
Yeah, little chuckle. But that's what happens when you see the big kahuna Ed Nordholm at a show.
The big kahuna.
You're like, I'll miss him. If I don't see him now, I'm gonna miss him. So, but I got right up and I shook his hand.
There you go.
I didn't miss the opportunity because
dust yourself off and kept
our anthem partners give us this great content. So
there you go. You say thank you, Ed. Absolutely. Listen, Chad here's bless your heart, Bill. Oh yeah. All right. Ultimate X kicking off the main card. No surprise. Great choice. You know, when you can get
you got it.
Great X Division match like so many other tremendous pay-per-views have kicked off before. And I tell you, I had a feeling that we were going to get some sort of surprise 6th person. Now, I was wrong, but I was right on the guess that we were going to get a surprise X Division, or maybe not so X Division, extra guy in there.
It makes sense, J-Bone, because we've talked about this in the past. Ultimate X, there's a formula for an Ultimate X match.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody in that match was about similar size, which most people would consider like your light heavyweights, like your more X Division type of wrestlers.
Lightweight, yeah.
Yeah, but in a Ultimate X match, you need what I like to call the base.
Oh, yeah.
You need a bigger guy that could be a foil to these other competitors. Yeah. Like it was Ethan Page one year. There's always, you look at all the Ultimate X's, there's always someone that's more the base in this match. And that's why it did seem a little awkward that there wasn't one in this match. Yeah. But obviously, we had a return that a lot of people have been waiting for. And it was something, Jake.
It absolutely was something. We got a return of Jake something right at the end of the the entrances of Kushida, Alan Angels, Jonathan Gresham, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey. And he got I think he got a nice little pop.
Mm-hmm.
Different look. Looks better in shape. Sporting cut some abs and a new haircut.
Yes. I'll tell you, he had a whole different look to him. And it's one of those things where, just like when we said, like kind of like the Rascals, the more serious look,
Yeah.
It feels like Jake, because remember, we did have cousin Jake, and then he transitioned to Jake something.
Right. He
But
used
it was
to be
still
with
like,
Diener.
yeah, but it was still
Yeah.
like a lot of cousin Jake, even though he was going with that new character. Now with a little bit of a different look, time has gone by. I feel it's much easier to establish this new character. So no, I thought he did well. Everyone obviously knocked it out of the park in this match.
Yeah. And I was discussing this with people during a live reaction, and I understand that where he's from is very close to where the show was, because he's from he's
Michigan
from
area.
he's from the Michigan area, which would make him a somewhat local talent, I guess you could say. But I'm hoping that he is one of those guys that is asked to stick around, because it feels like he was amazing in this match. He did great. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
regardless of if people come back long term, which is always up for debate, it doesn't hurt to have, because sometimes it might take a few loops, and then you know what, like obviously Jake Christ in Ohio, like Jake's in the best shape of his life. Like everyone wants to see Jake Christ back. We haven't seen him back since Ohio, obviously OVE there, but I wouldn't close the door on it. Just once again, time goes by. You have to have the storylines. I think that's what Impact always shows. If they brought Jake in and have an idea for Jake already, if they did that coming in, or maybe him just being there, they start thinking of an idea. If it's something they think they can do sooner rather than later, then maybe they do. I think that's what determines when people are around, or they come back in more of a long-term capacity. They're not. This is a company that the opposite of what we'll talk about with. I'm not going to do a victory lap, Jacob.
Okay.
Team Canada's back, baby. But like EY is a great example. He talked about it his last return to Impact.
Yeah.
Impact does not bring in people and have them sit in the back and don't do anything.
Right.
They're gonna, if they bring you on board, they're gonna use you either in ring, backstage. They're gonna have something for you. They're not just gonna have you sit there. So I think with Jake, that's gonna be, hey, that he showed up, that's a positive sign. If you're a Jake something fan, this is only good news. But I wouldn't take anything yet as any guarantee of anything.
Yeah. Mayor here talking about spot of the night, says with those
that's the one almost in my lap.
Speedball's moonsault from the top of the trestle. Yeah, he was way up there. I mean, he may not have been standing like, feet on top of it, but he was close enough.
Well, that's the move he does to go much higher than that. That would be real tough to control. That. There's just too much going on.
Well, because with the tension of the ropes and everything, it's not just a thing by itself, right?
So I think I think he knew kind of the limit to keep it in control, because like I almost feel like even from there, he wasn't 100% sure where he was going to land.
Yeah. But that was tremendous. There was so many spots. It's hard to, nail one down, but that was definitely one of them. But and I didn't have say a pick for this one at all. This one could have been anyone's. Kushida took this one though.
I like it. I know we were talking about it. I had it for other ones, and I think already know it's not going to happen, because I was using like the multiverse show as a reason for Kushida to win this on Thursday night. But I know they announced a match featuring the X Division champion Lio Rush, so that's not happening, obviously, at the multiverse. But I think Kushida, as having that X, that once again another good sign that we're going to see more Kushida, which not a bad thing.
Right.
Like Leo, and we'll get in that, but some of these results mean we're going to see more of these talents, which is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's
But it could have went any way. Like early on, like Alan Angels was ruling this match.
yeah, he looked great. He really did look great. I mean, everybody got their stuff in, and you know that when Gresham comes down to the ring with his mask on, you know.
Well, for a second, I thought he was the new Rascal with all that smoke coming out.
Yeah.
But that was a cool effect.
Yeah. We'll get to that. But yeah, we got the Ultimate X winner is KUSHIDA. And that'll be big for the multiverse too as well, I think.
Yeah, because what was the match announced? It was, I know Trey Miguel was in it.
Oh, Trey and Leo
Rush. Yeah, Trey and Leo
versus Takahashi and Speedball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good match. So it kind of, now obviously Kushida's not in that, so that's intriguing because I got to imagine Kushida will also be on that show. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets used.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't think.
Like maybe that could set up Bound for Glory? Leo versus Kushida?
Possibly. Yeah.
Now, I did see this spot, and obviously it happened right in front of me. Did Bailey injure his arm because he kind of got flipped and it went into the rope and kind of almost got stuck in the rope, but then popped right out. I think it was just from the look of it, it looked like it was just like, like that probably smarted him. Like it probably was a little like, that hurts. But I don't think he injured it.
Okay. So then right following this match, they put the camera on A1, Team Canada's own.
It was right down the road from me.
Yeah.
Because when he sat down, I'm like, oh, that's A1. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, and so he got a nice little pop, Gia Miller then backstage with Kenny King interviewing the new digital media champion, and Sheldon kept on echoing the DMC, and Kenny's like, yeah, I like that. So just a goofy little post-match interview there. Knockouts tag titles. Oh, I honestly don't know which Knockouts match was better, Bill, between the two title ones. This was amazing.
It was.
We had the Coven defending the Knockouts tag titles against Killer Kelly, the new team of Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich. What do you think?
Perfect. I'll tell you, we talked about this the other night where this seemed like the most obvious choice in a match. Like, even though they're a new team, the way Impact has brought Killer Kelly and Masha together as a team has been done fantastic. It felt like they had all the momentum, and kudos to the Coven. They've had a great run as tag champions here.
They have.
They've been like they kind of came out of nowhere and had a very nice run and beat some quality teams.
Right, but no slacking on their part.
You had to go with the momentum here of Masha and Kelly. So they had to win, but it was once again a very good match. Taylor Wilde continues to be fantastic, and KiLynn King. I saw her only briefly on the Indies before she came to Impact, and she was impressive. But she gets better and better. Putting her with a veteran like Taylor, who's never lost a step, that was a smart thing to do. So I think they're still going to be around as a team. No reason not to. But Kelly and Masha, to see where they go from here, is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, this just I mean, Kelly was fun to watch, but man, Masha was just like, you get that hot tag to Masha, and she just ripped through them. Unbelievable.
I think a lot of people have seen it on Impact, obviously, when she was going after the Knockouts title. But on the Indies, if you are not aware that she is like all over the place on the Indies, like
Yeah.
like when they do like PWI rankings, I think she might have one of the highest rankings for Impact because of all the work she does on the Indies, and a lot of it is like intergender. So she's a very good wrestler, and that's somebody that once again started off at Impact years ago doing like Melrose Ballroom tapings before she kind of came on board a couple years later. And just a credit to her that she's really like she's done death matches, she's done, but this is a great fit with Kelly. And it felt like Kelly, I know there was other issues that kind of got her derailed at different times because it felt like Killer Kelly was just like we were talking about. Like she was almost like coming in that first time we saw her, like almost a Kurt Angle of the Knockouts division, like just like a menace. And then she never had that opportunity. It feels like this is the start of it. And it's obviously with this storyline, as they're saying, like it does the numbers. This storyline, it's getting people talking.
It absolutely is. Yeah, with there's no boundaries in there. They're so close. It is. But yeah, all the women were absolutely on fire. I'm glad they gave this one as much time as they did because everyone shined. And Killer Kelly and Masha, I mean,
and they do have a name now on the Tron. They had a name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I see someone mentioned here, Ultra. But was it Ultra MK? Ultra M Masha Kelly, Ultra MK, I think it was. I don't want to be wrong, but it was something like that.
Okay. So Travis was talking about the
MK
I didn't know
Ultra.
what he was. MK Ultra. Oh, okay.
I did the Willy Wonka. I took it, reversed it.
You flipped it. All right. So now, so I missed that. I missed the beginning of this match. I was busy grabbing a snack or something. But when I came back, that's when I saw.
What'd you snack on, J-Bone?
I had just some leftovers from dinner. I had some mashed potatoes. I had some hot dogs, and then I covered everything with some queso.
All right. So hot dogs, queso, and potatoes.
Yeah. Just all together. Just,
I like it.
Mixed it all up.
I'll never say no to a hot dog, Jim.
Yeah. Well, these hot dogs were nothing to brag about. They were in the package. It was like, this big. They were pretty sad for hot dogs. But
you liven them up. Queso livens anything up.
Oh, yeah. I saved them with the queso. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, amazing tag match. I love this one. We got new champs, and it was another way of showing how the company was going to get flipped on its head tonight. So, all right, next we've got. Okay, so we got the special tag match here. Special Enforcer, Darren McCarty. Make sure I don't screw that up. Kill me.
HL Stanley Cup winner.
Yes. We got Diener with Khan out there. Excuse me. And Bully Ray versus Scott D'Amore and a mystery partner.
Was it a mystery to us, J-Bo?
Well, no, but
I hear he's under contract somewhere else. Can I play it, J-Bone? Can I play it?
Go ahead.
Alicia's not here, so I can play it to all my heart's content.
Okay.
This is what happens when you listen to other outlets not named TNI.
Longing for that fake wrestling news. Don't believe anything that you read on the internet.
We haven't heard that tonight, or we haven't heard that in a long time.
Thursday.
What's that?
Well, it's Thursday.
Yeah,
it would have been played forever, but I played it Thursday too.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, this. I mean, they were previewing so many matches for the following night, tomorrow night, and for so many of them that were tied to this feud, had Tommy Dreamer in them, and I'm like, it better not be Tommy.
Well, they were looking at the fallout, but it didn't make sense. Once Diener got involved before Thursday, once Diener was involved, it seemed obvious who it was. And it was, he's home again, Jay.
We've got the returning of EY, Eric Young.
Does it look like I give a damn?
Well, he gave a damn enough to return. All decked out in Canada stuff. Decked out. And your flag became a major part at the end of this match. That was great to see. And A1 even got
he got involved for a second. Once A1 got involved, I'm like, "Where's Johnny Devine?"
Yeah, Johnny Devine. Well, they showed A1 diving out of the ring and hitting whoever he hit. He hit Khan or whoever he hit. He hit him so hard, he looked like he was like knocked out when he landed. I was like, holy jeez, poor guy. But yeah, I mean, that was nice to see him get involved. You know, he's still in great shape.
Oh yeah. Well, A1, he was actually, I feel like he was even still wrestling during this regime when they first were going back to Canada. Like, I don't know if it was back all the way to like Ottawa, Bound for Glory tapings, or even maybe one of the early Windsor shows pre-pandemic. I feel like A1 still showed up briefly.
They talked to him. They talked to him backstage. They gave him a little segment, like what he's been up to or something.
That's good. Team Canada, united.
So yeah, that was great to see him there.
Oh, and J-Bo.
And EY looked like he was in great shape.
Are you? Oh yeah, EY always keeps himself in great shape.
Well, he was supposed to. He was signed for what? 2 years? Almost 2 years. And they
waiting for that call.
They did nothing. I was talking about this during the live reaction. I'm like, how for a second time, Bill? A second time, even worse this time. You're paying a guy and doing nothing with him.
And that was he did promos talking about that the last time he was there.
Right.
Smoking a cigar, saying how they didn't know how to use me.
I can't wait to see what he says this time.
But I know, and people are referencing in the chat, I feel like the Fake Wrestling News just said that now when it was the cat was out of the bag Thursday night when Scott D'Amore did the phone call. Like any dirt sheet with not even worth their salt could have figured out it was EY.
Right.
You had to watch our old shows to know we were talking about Team Canada for months, J-Bo.
That's right.
That's right. But now, like, the dirt sheets are like, well, he asked out of his contract when Vince came back. I don't remember that being reported.
Oh.
All I heard up until like a month ago or a week ago was that he was signed as a producer. Can't have it both ways.
You just
Obviously,
you
he
gotta
was an
make up.
impact.
They just make up the shit as they go along.
Yeah, so, but now it's perfect fit, perfect way for him to return. Team Canada, and seeing Scott in the robe, it was.
Oh, that was amazing. He looked so great out there doing some of those moves. It was like,
I'll tell you, he did not disappoint. The coach came to play.
yeah, he was really something out there. I mean, he may have a bit of a roly-poly physique, hey, and I am no one to cut on that, but my goodness, did he put on a show?
And just for this was at the merch stand.
Oh, they had the classic, yeah.
The classic Ringer Team Canada shirts available.
Hey?
So, Team Canada. Now, I know people will make the comment, like you mentioned Ohio earlier, like they had OVE gimmick materials at those tapings, but then nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
We'll see about Team Canada. Will it be beyond this? But obviously, they're going to be in Toronto pretty soon.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, and of course, there's another question for the night. Is EY? Did he just come back for tonight, or is he back? And we're gonna have to wait and see exactly what.
It's a good question, because I have a feeling if certain like if you want to ride on that, he's been signed the whole time. He never got out of his deal. Maybe it's a Mickey James style one-off favor, and he's not back.
It could be. I mean, and I haven't read any news today. Like, I know there was news out there, but I didn't read anything. So I don't know. You know,
it just I feel like it's a return. It just feels like too much, because I don't know. I don't know why for a one-off it would make the most sense to do it, unless you went on unless we see something within like the next 24 hours, like promo being cut, that it was more of a one-off. But there was like there was a whole Tron for it and everything. His return. It feels like this was a return back to it.
Oh, especially with the gear. The gear was amazing.
Like that was gear made just for this. Neutron made, like, it was all. I'm really looking forward to see if, obviously, we'll get to the end of the show, if this is going to go through a whole Team Canada thing, or will it just be him being back?
Yeah.
Will it be Showtime Eric Young?
Right. And is Darren McCarty part of Team Canada now too?
Well, for now, that could have been for a one night only.
Yeah.
Well, obviously multiple nights, because we know he's on the tapings too.
That was cool how he put the ref shirt on, because I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, all right, this is amping. He's got to get involved in this somehow, because at
Ref Harry took it off.
Well, he was in the ring and he kicks Darren out of the ring.
He's the enforcer, so that's we've seen that over the years. If you're a special enforcer, sometimes you are the ref. If not, you can take over that responsibility.
Right.
You're enforcing.
And then the ref said, "I quit." And Darren put on the shirt because Bully was doing his bullying, you know. So, but yeah, that was fun. Scott D'Amore and Eric Young get the win here, and raising the old Canadian flag, a la Bill. But they thank you over and over again for bringing that.
I don't leave home without it, Joe.
Yeah. Forever Team Canada. X Division title next. This was not the shocker who won. It's a shocker of how it went down. And we talked about this a little bit already. But Chris Sabin defending against Leo Rush. Sabin couldn't even get in a lick of offense. Leo puts him away in a few moves.
Yeah, well,
absolutely shocking.
by attacking him before the match, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Where I know a lot of people in the chat and people contacted me were like, does he have a concussion? Because he went right at him, knocked it down hard. The doctor had to get involved. Not Dr. Ross, the ringside doctor. And he did not look great, Sabin, obviously.
Yeah.
But he said he was hail Sabin. He was not gonna not fight. But as soon as he got in there, obviously Leo did not let up.
No, he was on him.
Sabin got up from that first splash, but once he hit that second splash, I'm like, he ain't getting up from his finisher twice. So,
right, yeah. As soon as he hit it,
nine-time champion, sadly, the 9-time
yeah.
champion goes down in defeat here, and I think a lot of us thought this could change, but now Leo Rush is now in the history books of Impact Wrestling as an X Division champion. I know we were all kind of talking about. I thought he might have. I was comparing it to like a Jonah run. I felt maybe like 6 months, but he has a title. Not that Impact hasn't put titles on people that aren't under contract.
Yeah.
But interesting, very interesting. Like now, when this happened, because I was kind of going, well, maybe Nick Aldis, Leo, Main Event Mafia 2.0,
yeah,
3.0, I guess at this point. Maybe that was going to be a thing. And after this, I'm like, oh, that's happening. Team Canada, Main Event Mafia, the Stable Wars are returning, J-Bo.
Yeah.
But obviously by the end of the night, maybe not so much. But right now, that's what I thought.
But Leo looked great out there. He was slick.
Yeah. He's a very good wrestler.
He is. Everywhere he goes, he absolutely lights the place up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think it's all, if he's somewhere, and I won't say like it has to be years, but more long term.
Yeah.
I think he, pun intended, will make an impact because he is that good.
Oh, sure.
And if that same audience continues to see him, they'll be like, he's one of the best wrestlers in whatever company he's in.
Yeah.
It's just over these handful of years, he's never one place that long. So obviously he's been now with New Japan a little bit, obviously with Impact, now with a championship here. It's going to be real interesting to see what Leo does going forward here. Is he just going to kind of do like a run of the X Division like a Trey Miguel just did for a while? Or is he going to like try an option C or something at some point?
I don't know, but I'm loving what I'm seeing. I mean, I really, I think I said this during the preview, saying that this could have been one of the best matches of the night. Sadly,
yeah, with Sabin and Leo, like those two guys just ring work. Yeah. But for some reason, that wasn't going to be. Yeah. I don't know. Not sure why. I'm sure we'll find out over the coming months on how storylines go. But you're right. Like, I think we all thought going into it, and I guess that could be why some people, if they maybe something wasn't positive, if you were looking forward to this match in particular as a match of the night, you'd be like, I didn't get it. You were robbed of that opportunity.
Yeah.
But the storyline's still out there because, yes, Sabin lost, but he didn't look like he was screwed, really.
Yeah. We'll see.
Like it wasn't a cheating win, but he attacked him before the bell to get that advantage.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he nailed him good. He really did. Leo Rush he packs a punch. For the size that he is, he packs an absolute punch. So, but yeah, I wrote this down as a squash. I don't know what else you call this, you know.
Yeah, like he almost wrestled the match with two hands tied behind his back, Sabin.
Yeah. Right. He was off.
Lamb the slaughter.
Totally was. Yeah. But all hail the new X Division champ.
Oh,
Leo Rush.
You can't put hail and not have Sabin. Jay.
I knew that was gonna.
I don't accept this. I don't accept this.
Okay, maybe don't hail him. Tag titles on the line. This was another absolute banger of a match. Moose and Myers versus Subculture versus OVE's Swann and Callihan versus the Bullet Club's ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay. And as soon as this started, I'm like, all right, the Rascals are absolutely going to show up at some point. How they're going to screw the tag champs and what the ending of this, I don't know. So right off the bat, you know that the odds are absolutely against Ace and Bay. So
yeah, you do multi-man tag team matches like this. The champions are never favored. The odds are stacked against champions in matches. Like this. But I think we were talking about the other night, you could look at every one of these opponents and made a case that they were going to walk out as new champs tonight.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't
probably the least likely may have been who actually won this match.
Right, because I mean we're seeing them again. It's been a couple months.
It was in London, and I was even talking about it. I'm like, they're only showing up in the Canada shows. So, obviously, after here, you have Chicago. So, hopefully that means we will see them on U.S. states going forward.
Right.
Or, Subculture is actually here to stick around. Obviously, there's still tapings to unfold. So, anything can happen.
Maybe it was just a fact of if they're going to sign them, let's get them in here. Let's see how they look. Let's see how the crowd reacts to them. There's all these little different things that have to happen. But then there's, of course, now, if they do look good and we want to keep them, are they happy being here? Are they going to sign? Of course, internationally, you got to deal with a visa situation. Maybe there was a hiccup with that last time and they couldn't keep them on board. Now they got the title. Yeah, maybe they lose them during these tapings tomorrow. Maybe they keep them and they're signed for a while. I don't know. We got to wait and see. But it's exciting to see a team like that. I tell you what, my pick, if it wasn't going to be Ace and Bay, my pick was actually going to be Moose and Meyer.
Well, when it was coming to the finish, and there was the tag, and I believe it was Myers tagged himself in before when Bay hit his move and Ace was about to hit the fold. And as we always say, no one kicks out of the fold.
Right.
I'm like, this is how it's going to get screwy. The Rascals were outside. Myers and Moose were going to take advantage and get that win.
And there's no DQ. You can't stop the match.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's I think Moose had fallen in front of me at the time. I'm like, Moose, you're going to be tag champ. And but then I noticed both Subculture, like Mandrews and Flash, they both popped into the ring real quick. And I'm like, wait a second. They're going to do it.
I was shocked.
And obviously, as a TNA guy, Mandrews during his first run.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to see Mandrews get, great to see Mandrews come back and win something here now. Because that's a guy that was killing it when he was here.
Webster looked tremendous, too. I mean, he got his ass kicked, but he also looked great, too.
They definitely got something. They had the matches they had that last time around. They were good matches. And people keep saying we need more in the tag division. They want to see that build up. Well, that is a great team now. Your champions, the tag division. Look at it.
Just give
myself ABC, Subculture. You got a lot of good teams, and obviously that we talked about it with Sami and Rich, and obviously with Moose and Myers. Like they're doing well together. The tag division looking pretty good right now.
So I was sharing
this on the outside.
I was sharing this around a little, but I wanted to show you too.
Okay.
I ordered that Moose head scan.
Okay.
And I put it on a Titus O'Neil. Of course, the trunks say Titus, so I got to work on the trunks next. But I just wanted to show this off.
Just put a robe on him and you're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he just needs a fancy robe, some rhinestones or whatever, and he's set. I was really worried that this wasn't gonna like fit on here, that it wasn't gonna look good with this. As soon as I took Titus's head off and popped this on, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be an amazing looking figure.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, and I guess the official Impact one of Moose is coming out in the near future. But always good to see.
I heard July, so we'll see.
Yeah, because I know we did have a Ring of Honor figure years ago. But very cool, Jada.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those. Next, I'm probably going to be working on Ace and Bay figures. That's going to take a while. I'm going to have to. That's going to unless I come up with another one that's I could just put this with this and make a real easy custom. But we'll see. But yeah, Moose is coming together. But yeah, new tag champs, Subculture.
Once again did not see this coming.
Yeah, what a shock! Like I said, if I was going to pick anyone, I was going to pick Moose and Myers because they're actually
that's who I thought. I still thought it was going to be ABC, but Moose and Myers had a shot to do it, and then I probably put an outside chance of Sami and Rich, but I did not have Subculture doing it because, like I said, I thought they were probably just in for this set of tapings, and then maybe when they were back in Canada again. But I'm glad to see it. Glad to see it. More talent is never a bad thing.
Yeah. And I don't know. As much as I love Swann and Callihan together, they're not really hitting it out of the park.
They've had obviously. You're right. Like they obviously in Ohio, they were doing well there, but since then they've not been getting the results.
Yeah,
they look good at times, very good in the ring at times, but then they're not getting those wins.
I got a blue jean vest for a Rich Swann action figure too coming up possibly.
You just got to put "We'll wrestle for food."
Right? Yeah. The Metallica patch on the back. Yeah. But yeah, what an amazing hashtag and new tag champs. Now, as much as I wanted to call this next match kind of a, this is kind of a okay, you can come down a little bit. Man, I don't know if you really could. This match brought just as much action, just on a different level. Eddie Edwards with his wife, Alicia, versus Frankie Kazarian and his wife, Tracy Brooks, at ringside, looking absolutely amazing. So much fun.
Another legend of the company. That's what Slammiversary is for, Jada.
Yeah. You look towards the future and the youth of your roster, but you always pay credit to the legends at the same time. So
these are obviously current and legends, really, in this company's history. Like obviously Frankie goes way back, and then Eddie, longest tenured guy in the company.
Yeah, he's been since 2016. I want to say.
I'll tell you, like he's been a regular fixture since, like, obviously I was like in early, like when I started attending shows, it would be like a random show locally or going down to Florida every once in a while. But then when I started going more like all the time, that's pretty much when Eddie kind of showed up all the time. So
I know he showed up with
Davey.
He showed up with Davey and MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what'd you think of Eddie versus Kaz? This, I mean, they just clobber the hell.
Yeah, hard hitting, the chops. Like Eddie might be the best chop guy in wrestling.
Definitely one of them.
He does great chops. So if you want to see someone lay the wood, that's Eddie Edwards. Like he and Frankie, obviously. What can you say about Kaz? Still fantastic in the ring.
He's tough.
So these two guys going back and forth, very enjoyable match. Like their feud's been pretty good here. Obviously, Lish doing her thing on the outside. Tracy responding to it. I don't know how much of audio was picking up of them yelling at each other, but they were kind of getting different comments at each other, which is pretty funny. At one point, they obviously had the little leg trips and everything, and then obviously they got into the ring, kind of had the Joey Styles catfight moment briefly. I was wondering if we were going to see Tracy get on that top rope for Trent there and do it from the sky. That's probably that would have probably been asking a little too much. But in the end, you saw some shenanigans that got Eddie the win here. So Eddie's kind of like he's definitely had the leg up in Kaz in this feud. So be interesting with Kaz. I have a feeling he's not done with Eddie yet.
No, we can see this go more possibly, but it's also great to see Lish was getting her stuff in here too.
And I'll tell you, Lish, I just feel like we were talking about it for a while to make Lish the badass valet.
Yeah.
And it feels like she just went, and this is complete praise to the Beulah School of Valeting during the Tommy Dreamer ECW era. And
there you go.
She's knocking it out of the park because that's exactly what I thought she should do. And she's doing it to perfection. I cannot give enough credit to what Lish is doing in that valet role.
Right, and she's done it for so long, but on different levels, and it's been inconsistent at best. Like I always go back to the comedic sense of I just saw something really creepy and hideous on TV. I'm sorry. We just moved everything around in our little living area, but now the TV's actually like here's my my computer, and here's the TV against the wall. So every time I glance over, it's like, oh dear God, what's going on over there? What are you watching?
Well, Daniel here. It's interesting history here with Slammiversary. The announcers were saying that was the first time Tracy was in Kaz's corner since 2005.
But yeah, they did mention that, and I didn't know if I heard that wrong, but I was like, whoa,
that's a while.
Yeah. Well, they got married in, I think they said 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've been together 13 years. Wow. Wild. And their kid was even at ringside. That was cool.
Oh yeah, Eddie was getting in his face. I was like, "Come on, Eddie, come on."
That's how you
leave
play
the kids out of it.
Make the son cry. Watch, that'll be the next thing is Kaz's son will go home with Eddie and pull one of these.
We're going deep into ECW lore right now.
Right. That's exactly what they got to do. A little play off the past never hurt nobody. Like I said, it's a nod. It's a little nod to the legends. But yeah, Lish is killing it. But it was great to see Tracy. Jesus, great to see Tracy.
The KC bring the Sunshine Band.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Knockouts.
Play that funky music, J-Bone.
Oh, I'm all about the funky music. Knockouts title match: Deonna Purrazzo versus Trinity. Change is just in the air tonight, Bill. Change is just in the air.
I am the fucking greatest.
We know. Damn, take it easy. But the best part about all this, Bill, is that Trinity was not just handed this.
No.
She went out there and, she didn't just come in that weekend in Chicago, pin someone, and here's your title, which this company has been guilty of doing. But I'm so glad they didn't do that this time. Trinity has been absolutely kicking ass and making everybody, including tonight's submission of Deonna Purrazzo, just blew my mind.
Yeah, and I think the submission is what some of the obviously proponents for Deonna, and this was tough. I almost had to just enjoy this match and almost not really have show a rooting interest.
Yeah,
because I would have been fine either way. I know we talked during the review on Thursday.
You just wanted another. You just wanted another hug.
Well, I thought Trinity would win. But Deonna's just so good. She's it's tough to root against Deonna, even though she's a complete tweener. She doesn't want your cheers. That's something she doesn't want. But
yeah, she still does.
It's just like other wrestlers where you got to respect it, though. She's so good at her craft, you got to respect it. And I guess her submitting when she's a submission specialist, maybe that's rubbing some people the wrong way. But Trinity, she's been very good the whole time. Look, you're right. She's earned it. She worked her way. And obviously, Deonna's a 3-time knockouts champion. They did the comparison, only Gail Kim's had a longer combined reign, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said for what Deonna's done.
Yeah.
But I couldn't Trinity. Congratulations, deserved.
Hell
yeah. And obviously, we've seen I think she's had a huge uplift to the whole roster, really. Since coming.
Yeah.
I think that there are eyes tuned in. Not a knock on anybody else, but she's bringing in more viewers, which is fantastic. So I'm completely on board with all this.
She was trending earlier today, before the show started.
But she won the title. I'm cheering for her. I could not help myself but to look at Deonna, to see how she was reacting after the loss.
Yeah.
Because she pretty much submitted and rolled out of the ring.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of watching Deonna just to see kind of how she was reacting after.
Yeah.
Because, and honestly, I think this is something, I think it just speaks to the locker room. Almost, it gave me the impression of, and I don't know if you've ever watched this with any sports teams, but as a long-suffering Philadelphia fan for a lot of sports teams, you'll get that, in the Eagles, Jalen Hurts watching the Super Bowl celebration of the other team.
Yeah.
And just kind of you see confetti, but they're sitting there watching it. They don't go and leave. They're just watching it. And that's what Deonna did. She was watching the Trinity's moment there.
Yeah.
Which I respect that. I think that was a very cool move. So once again, great run by Deonna. Congrats on that 3rd title win. But Trinity, well earned it. And once again, I know a lot of people are talking about this should have been the main event. It could have been the main event, no doubt.
Oh, a lot of people.
And there's been a lot. The knockouts have been doing the main event at a ton of these shows over the course of this last year. Well earned doing those main events.
Yeah.
But either way, you could have gone here. I have no problem with how they did it. So I don't think there's really an issue with it. But I know a lot of people did. And I think that maybe that's what's souring of some, at least a few negative opinions I've seen. It's either why this didn't main event compared to the main event. And I think it just depends on how you feel certain things should have gone.
Yeah.
But Trinity, I think we all thought this. And it's going to be another thing to see where this goes from here. Who becomes these early challengers for Trinity.
It's going to be a whole new boat. The only thing that I would criticize about this match was the end. It felt like something happened at the end. Someone was out of place. Something happened, and then Deanna rolled up into the submission. Like, I'd have to watch it back. Something happened. Like, somebody was out of place for something, and then they quick, all of a sudden, boom, she was in it. It was like, oh, okay, we're good. Yeah, okay.
Like it would look like she was rolling, like she was just kind of rolling her into a pin, and then it rolled into a submission move. Like it
right.
So it's something that I'd have to look at it from like my angle. It kind of just saw like you flip her over into the submission, but that's
So, here's a question from Antonio in the chat. It says, you think Deanna turns heel tomorrow? You already said, Bill, that she kind of already feels like a tweener. Like, you respect her.
But she's never become.
She still does this stuff.
I wouldn't call her a total face. She probably was a little bit more face than heel, just because of some of the feuds and all she had been in, like with Gisele and all. Like, she was more of the face in that, but she's still a tweener. But do I think this will, like, she had even during that match, she, like, I know where I was talking with some people after the show, like she I wouldn't say turned heel during the match, but she was the aggressor. She was more aggressive in a lot of what she was doing, which comes off more like a heel. Yeah,
like you have to watch her face when she, so Trinity would kick out, and you look at that they do a zoom in on Deanna's face, stuff like that. Yeah.
Do I think it's possible that she now leans back more into more of a heel persona?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's possible. But who knows? I mean, there's so much stuff that happened tonight that we didn't see coming. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Deanna may we may see the last of Deanna for a while. She may go home and help out her hubby for a while because he's injured, and I don't think there's even been a report out yet as to how badly he's injured. Have you heard anything?
I have not.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not too long. Because obviously based on the end of what we saw with a major return, we know they have unfinished business as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Antonio says, in Critical Sting, they say torn groin. That can take a while.
Yeah.
That could take a couple months, depending on how bad it is. See, and I thought that's interesting because I thought it was some of the legwork that Alex Shelley was doing to him. Like he tweaked something during some submission stuff, So,
like I said, like we went over this before, it was real tough to figure out where that injury was.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't look right, but to see, like, it happened when this was done.
Yeah.
Didn't really feel like there was that moment.
Yeah.
Which, with that kind of injury, you can kind of see that. Because it was probably just like, who knows when it actually, like, it could have just happened on, like, a rolling over in the end. Because it was already kind of getting there, and that was the last thing to push it over the top.
Well, he was limping real real like you really had to watch him towards the first half of the match. You started seeing he started moving a little weird.
Okay.
So, but then obviously it increased throughout the match. But
yeah, if it's true that no surgeries needed, which is good,
yeah,
you're still looking though at a couple months.
yeah,
Likely.
you gotta ice it. yeah. I've done that. I've done that too to some degree. That's not fun. You really feel like, yeah, it feels like hell. Alicia says, did you guys see Tasha's tweet? No.
Tasha Steeles?
That's the only Tasha I know.
The only Tasha we acknowledge here.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Well, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna jump into the next.
Oh, okay. She says Impact put out a new Knockouts World Champion, Trinity.
Okay.
She responded, "Congrats, Trin. ... For now, Hourglass. # back to business."
Okay. All
so
right.
Hopefully, because I know a lot of people have been kind of asking, because Tasha was kind of gone, showed back up for like a set or two of tapings, and then was gone again.
Yeah.
So like injuries, time off. Hopefully that means we are getting a return of Tasha, because that would be a nice addition.
Oh yeah. Some new rivalries, some fresh matches in the ring. It's all welcome. So here, I love this. This is from Armand. Great show. Love the Canadian flag on the hockey stick, Bill. Do you always bring it on a hockey stick, or did you just do that?
No. I cannot take full credit for the hockey stick.
Oh, okay.
I always bring the flag, but I cannot take credit for the hockey stick.
So before we get into the main event, do you want to just tell how that came about? Is it
I will keep those details on the down.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine. Sounds good.
I did not smuggle any weapons into the
I was gonna say that'd be a tough one to smuggle. Main event time. Impact World Title. Well, so far we're 5 for 5 on title changes. Is the night going to end the same as it started, Bill? Well, we're going to find out. Alex Shelley defending his Impact World Championship against the returning Nick Aldis. He wants that title. He's back in Impact Wrestling. He wants that title.
Impact needs him to be the world champion, Courtney.
Oh, Oreo was like, hell no. She does not want Nick Aldis.
She's
like, none of this, She's like, no.
As I left in the wee hours this morning to make my trip up here to Windsor, I was listening to a little Busted Open, their Saturday show, and they did talk about Slammiversary for a little bit. So I was hearing the opinions on the show, and I believe both picked Nick Aldis, because like I said earlier, it was almost like Alex was the underdog in this world title match. And that whole idea, just like the promos Nick was cutting, he looks like a world champion.
He does.
He has that certain thing about him that he should be a world champion. He even put in the promo that he said when they asked him to come back, I'm going right for the world title.
Yeah.
Really, nothing else. I'm only interested in world titles.
Yeah.
And you look at him, he does look the part. He always has. Ever since the British invasion, Magnus looked the part. Obviously, main event Mafia. And I think that would have been, like I said, when him and Leo were in the suits it gave me those vibes of the Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
And just like Team Canada, Main Event Mafia, one of my favorites. I still want to just hear that music come on one more time. But I thought there was a very good chance Nick was going to win. Not that I wanted him to win, but then there's been these UK rumblings, so it made a lot of sense maybe to have him win.
Yeah.
But then we get Shelly retain. And especially based on, we did call the ending, not the win, the after the match.
Yeah.
I think we all had a feeling Josh was going to come out, but we thought it was going to be the challenge or to get in the face of Nick Aldis as new champion.
Right.
Which it wasn't.
No.
And we know Shelly and Aldis had their match a while back. That was his first title shot. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out. Because based on the end, you got to almost assume that's Shelly's next opponent will be Josh Alexander.
Well, yeah, and then some people are like, "Oh, that's going to be Bound for Glory." It's like,
It could be.
they could drag it out,
but I don't know how you stretch it out. Let's see, you got to stretch it out for
August,
Multiverse,
September,
August and September. So that's 2 specials. You're gonna have to have no world title. I don't think you can get through 2.
It's 3 months and several specials. No.
Yeah, you can't get away without having a world title match in that amount of time.
But Josh looked good. The only other thing that I saw some people talking about in the chat was they were really shocked that Mickie James did not return at some point during this match, either at the end of the Knockouts match to throw her hat in the ring against the new champ or the old champ, depending on who won, or as a heel to help her hubby win, which I was really hoping it wasn't going to go down that road. But knowing wrestling, that would have made sense too. You know?
Although I'm nearly certain we're going to see Mickie back in the near future.
Yeah.
But I would not have had her on tonight.
Yeah.
Because I think, obviously, you had the EY return and you had Josh's return. If you had Mickey's return as well, and Mickie, obviously, the legend.
Yeah.
But if Mickie returns as well, what did the dirt sheets write about tomorrow, J-Lo? Mickie James returning.
Yeah.
Not those other returns. They're underneath the headline about Mickie James. So
they're going to talk about Jake something.
Well, that's the thing. Everything else gets lost. It gets dropped down a peg if Mickie James is returning. You give a show an Impact Plus special, or maybe it's even Bound for Glory, depending on how the rest of the card lines up. You have her own time to shine as a big return.
Yep.
Where I know even people are like maybe something like the 1,000th episode. Like you do it something special. But there was already too much going on because we know Impact over these, not all the Slammiversaries, but there's been a couple where Slammiversaries all been about debuts, big returns. And sometimes when you have too many, you lose it. You lose the effect. You might want to have 1 or 2, which I thought was perfect tonight. Like you had the big EY return and the big Josh return. And obviously you had some nice stuff like Jake, and then kind of see where you're going on here. And then obviously a lot of title changes. Surprise.
Oh, ton of it's
so I don't think you want to put too much. You don't want to make it too busy.
Yeah. The whole company's flipped on its head now. It's really something. And the only one that came out barely
World champ.
by the skin of his teeth. But I tell you what, man, he I feel like we saw like a whole different side of Alex Shelley. Like I know he's done some technical stuff before, but I don't know to this degree. I mean,
he very technical. I'll tell you, I think he even
broke him down.
Yeah. And I think he even enjoyed it, like even interacting with the crowd. Like, and he does, but we've even talked about sometimes Shelley will come off a little, I'm not going to say heel, but he will be the aggressor tendencies that look a little heelish in the ring at times.
Like sticking his hand in the turnbuckle. Like when he
like,
did that, it was like
little edges, edges he'll do. But here it seemed like he definitely played up a little bit more to the crowd, a little more baby face than maybe more like than he usually is. So definitely see a little transition there. But once again, another like Alex Shelley doesn't have bad matches. Really. And Nick Aldis, once again, he's a very good technical wrestler as well. So they weren't going to have a real bad match.
He gave it to Shelley too. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously got a little color there at the end. When the chair got into play, it's going to be interesting to see how that ended. But Shelley took advantage of it in the end.
Yeah, and I tell you, when Josh showed up, I was shocked. Like I felt like something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. I wasn't I didn't think we were gonna get a I'm back. You know.
Yeah, the I'm back is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because if he's back and he's fully back, like if he's in action. Now, I'm not even saying this loop, this set of tapings. If he's in full action in Chicago at the end of the month, that's still way ahead of schedule. So, like, kudos, because that's working your rear end off to do that.
Now, what did he have again?
I believe it was the pec. They have a torn pec, I think.
Okay.
So I think that was like, so I think he'd be coming back probably about 2 months sooner, because we all kind of had Bound for Glory pegged. Like, once again, I thought he was going to show up, but I thought it might be more not I'm back. The I'm back thing implies he's wrestling pretty darn soon.
Right. Well, and I wasn't expecting him to say those 2 words, if any words at all. I thought we were going to get a nose to nose.
Yeah.
Camera goes blank.
Like, I'm waiting for you type thing. I'll be here to collect my belongings.
Yeah.
But not on.
Yeah, and I thought it was just going to be, okay, they're nose to nose, they're smiling, they're looking around, and then just nothing. And then just that, roll credits. That's it. But he said, because I'm sitting there talking while this is all happening. I'm like, we're just going to have to wait and see if he says that he's back. Not even a second later, I'm back. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yep.
Yep. So welcome back, Josh Alexander. Wow. He has come back to a different Impact Wrestling. And would you think, well, it's not that different? Yeah. Like I said, the company
base
got
is still
on.
there, but it's, you're right. They're still, it's always evolving. It's always changing. And obviously champions, like Josh was there. Remember, Josh had that long title reign.
Yeah.
That isn't happening anymore. A lot of the titles, obviously they're almost all new champions at this point. So yeah, he's coming back to a different, who's the top dogs in the different divisions, obviously the world title picture.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it looks like he's throwing his hat in the ring sooner rather than later with Shelley. And you're right, it seems like Bound for Glory is probably too far away. So it'll be interesting to see the next steps.
Right. No, the Chicago Heat for the Chicago tapings coming up doesn't have an actual show. It's just 2 days work. Yeah, it's just TV stuff. 2 days.
It's TV.
Month TV. I mean, we could get a title shot in there, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then the world champion, obviously, Shelley will fight on the multiverse show. But
Yeah.
will it be in some kind of tag match, or will it be a defense against somebody from Japan?
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Yeah. Because they already said that Sonata's showing up, but they didn't say
we
who's
don't know
facing
what.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, just such an amazing show with just the right amount of surprises in it, between people coming back and title changes.
Yeah.
That
That's the thing.
really
If you
made
look
you.
overall, returns and title changes, that's a lot of surprises. Like, surprises aren't just people showing up. Like Subculture winning, that's a surprise. Like,
Yeah.
there's definitely surprises. Josh Alexander saying he's back to compete, that's a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how fast he actually gets in the ring after all.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I could see it drawn out a little bit. Maybe he's not really back. Because remember, we just said it with Chicago. That's a month of TV. Maybe you can kind of slide that down where it's after Chicago TV airs, and it's in like more of that Toronto August time frame.
Could be.
Because I think by then you're more realistic for him being. But hey, if he's ready to go, do it, man.
Yeah.
Just don't push yourself to where you could aggravate anything.
Oh, it says, okay, bonus baby here at the end of his thing here in the chat says, and Josh had a ruptured tricep. Okay.
Okay.
Well, then maybe that's not as bad as someone like, Cody Rhodes, who looked like he got,
Hit by a bus.
Yeah. Ran over by a bus, yeah. Hold up them gym shoes. Sonata's going to be at Multiverse too. Yes, bonus baby. Sonata's going to be there. They just didn't say versus who yet. So, I mean, he may just walk out and be like, so, No, I doubt that. So, any final thoughts on the 21st anniversary of Slammiversary?
Very memorable show. Overall, once again, in competition with the fantastic pay-per-views we've been seeing from Impact that not disappoint. Like I said, it's tough you need to let time go by a little bit, let it settle in to see where you want to rank it on where it is with the other shows. There wasn't a bad match except for the one. I wouldn't call it a bad match, but you had the not match almost with Sabin and Leo Rush. So, Other than that, every match that was on the card, though, was a very good match. They went very good to excellent, pretty much, the rest of the matches.
Yeah.
So, nothing to really complain about on my end. I did like the returns, the surprises. Like I said, I'm always a fan because we watch all this closely. We think we get ideas on where things are going, and then Impact pulls the rug out from under us. And we had no clue on some of this stuff, which that's what I want. If I knew what was going to happen every week on every big show, why would I even watch it?
Yeah.
So that I continue to be surprised is a great reason to keep coming back.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we certainly have some reasons to keep coming back now. My goodness. Things got very interesting in the company. Very interesting. But yeah, can't wait till the tapings. You're going to be there tomorrow night, and hopefully they have at least half, if not close to what they had tonight for a crowd, which was just so good to see.
Yeah, great crowd. Everybody there had a good time. Hopefully, people, I know it's a Sunday, going to Monday, can make it. Definitely recommend it. Anybody that's watching this, that's in the area, definitely come out. Enjoy what I always will consider the best live professional wrestling product going today.
Absolutely.
And once you were there in person, you become a fan of it. So if you're able to, definitely make the trip. And yeah, go from there. And tomorrow, be interesting for Titanium Pizza Party. Looking forward to that tomorrow.
Oh, where at?
Oh, at the venue. Who knows who will show up?
Oh, share a slice with fill in a blank. That's amazing.
Fill in those blanks. There might be a pic. Oh wait, I do have a picture of. Let's see.
What was the Titanium thing at the end of the show tonight?
That's what I'm going to pull up right now.
Okay.
There's a picture with a certain person that won the Ultimate X match.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, there. Okay, now I can see it. Yep. Oh, and he's going like this. Nice, nice. And you're holding the X. That's cool. I like it. I like it. Very cool.
So, very cool stuff. But the cool things you can do at Impact Wrestling. So, as J-Bone knows, he has that picture somewhere back there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all back there. Yep. You betcha. You betcha. Yeah, the office looks a little unkempt, but it's all a work in progress. I got donated some new stuff for my office. So, all right, we're gonna wrap this up. What an amazing show! We'll be back Thursday, and can't wait to see what the fallout is from Slammiversary. You're gonna be joining
Speaking of
us?
Fallout, J-Bone. Oh yeah, I'll be joining you. But speaking of Fallout, I before Impact, I'm going to a 5:00 show of Oppenheimer on Thursday. So I'll be watching Fallout, followed by Fallout.
Just be careful.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of Fallout puns right now. But that's,
You're right. That movie looks like it's going to be amazing.
Yes, big fan of the Christopher Nolan films, and
yeah, he's good.
So
he is good,
and hopefully all that stuff, all those strikes with the actors and writers, can be resolved sooner rather than later. For we don't lose too much content. We already had the pandemic cause that lag in all the content for so long. And now we're going to have that again. So, J-Bone, we might have to do more programming here at the TNI show to get people through dark times if there's not content.
Oh, man. I'm not going to try to act out stuff that they would, though. Don't ask for that.
Kung Fu Theater?
Yeah. No. No. So, all right, we will see you guys Thursday. Thanks again for number one, watching the live reaction, joining me, and for the review, joining Bill and myself for this. So much fun, so much to talk about. Like I said, the company's flipped on its head, and we can't wait to see what's next. On your way out, you folks know what to do. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Take care, everyone. We'll see you down the road real soon.